it's me, Jeron Kerridge. We're gonna talk about bench pressing today. Yeah, fuck yeah. This is Jeron with Savage Gym. Today I want to talk to you about how to maximize both your grip width and your hand position on the bench press. Now, why are these two things important? I'm about to tell you. Any second now I'm gonna tell you, once I get the words. As with all of the other lifts, your setup will determine your outcome. What I mean by this is the amount of attention that we pay towards the details, like where the bar is sitting in our hands, where our grip is placed, whether or not our lats are tight, where our feet are positioned, whether or not our core is braced, and these are all things that I've covered in other videos. All of these details come together and have a huge impact on both your efficiency in a movement and your maximum power output or your strength, the amount of weight that you can lift. So really learning how to maximize these couple of cues that I'm gonna give you are gonna have a huge impact both on your strength and also on your longevity as a lifter and how safe these movements are for you to perform. Now, as far as grip width, I typically recommend that lifters start with something right around 90 degrees, 90 degree bend in the elbow. Right around here is gonna be a good general grip that maximizes the strength of your shoulders, your lats, your triceps, and your chest at the same time, as well as going to provide the most efficient form of transferring power from your body up into the bar. Now, obviously, not everyone is gonna bench with the exact same grip, nor do I recommend that for every single lifter, because we all have different leverages, we all have different strengths and weaknesses, and really learning how to maximize those things is gonna be key for you being able to bench press as much as possible. For example, some lifters tend to prefer benching with a higher arch and a wider grip, and what this does is it allows them to shorten the range of motion of the press. Other lifters tend to prefer benching with more of a flatter back and a narrower grip. And all of these come down to your individual strengths and weaknesses. As a general rule of thumb, if you have a stronger chest, you're going to prefer a little bit wider of a grip. If you have stronger triceps, you're going to prefer a little bit narrower of a grip. And if you have stronger shoulders, something right in the middle of these two grips is going to be the best option for you. What I suggest is starting with 90 degrees and experimenting and seeing which positions feel the most stable for you, provide you the best leverage, and feel the strongest. Because at the end of the day, this is going to come down to your own personal preferences and finding a position that feels good for you and building up your strength in that position. With regard to grip on the bar, there are a few different options. Generally, I recommend doing a full grip where your fist is closed and you're aggressively squeezing the bar. What this is going to do is cause an effect called irradiation, where we create tension at the extremity, in this case the hand, and that tension travels up the arm, into the shoulder, into the rest of the body, and helps integrate tension and pressure throughout the entire body as one coordinated unit. Anytime that we have something that is relaxed, in this case the hand, we create a power leak and we're not maximizing the amount of tension that we can create through the body. There are, however, exceptions to this, one being a suicide grip, or a grip where the thumb is not around the bar. While this may look like your hand is not tightly placed on the bar as it is with a full grip, that does not mean that we're not creating tension with the hand. This merely means that we're leaving the thumb off of the bar to better position it in the palm. We're still creating tension and squeezing the bar with the remaining fingers, just the thumb isn't on the other side of the bar. The benefit of using a false or a suicide grip are that it alleviates a lot of the pressure on the shoulders and even on the elbows if you are suffering from tendonitis, because it allows you a greater degree of rotation of the shoulder and is oftentimes easier to activate the lats. Regardless of which grip you use, it's very important to squeeze the bar and create that pressure, particularly with the pinky. Now, this is another cue that is usually overlooked, or at least I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but integrating the pinky into your grip with the bar is actually going to help activate the lats and create a lot of stability and control in through the shoulders. As soon as we create tension with this finger, the lats turn on. To experiment with this so you can kind of get a feel of what I'm talking about, make a fist, and then squeeze the pinky into your palm. And you should immediately feel tension up and through the lats and the shoulder blade. What this is gonna do is when we're pressing the weight, you're gonna create that stability, and it's gonna help hold your arch in position, keep your shoulders locked in and braced tightly, and actually help the lats to stabilize the bar and on the descent. Another important cue for the bench press is remembering to keep the knuckles up at all times. What I mean by that is if you were to make a fist, like this, you want the knuckles of the hand to be facing up. What this does is it allows the wrist to stay in line with the elbow and allow for most optimal and most efficient power transfer up into the bar. Anytime that we have a break at the wrist and the bar sits out here, not only are we putting unnecessary strain on the tendons and ligaments in the wrist, but we're also very inefficient in our press because we're trying to transfer power through the elbow up into the bar, but the bar is over here. And so now we create this torquing pattern to where we destabilize the shoulder on the press. If you ever look at someone who misses a bench press because one of the shoulders came out of position or is ducked in aggressively compared to the other, typically you can see some kind of compensation or some kind of a break at the wrist. While a wrist wrap can help this, it is not a foolproof way to keep the shoulders stable. So remembering to keep the fist up or the knuckles up is another important cue. One way to help cue this wrist position on the bench press is to remember that when we're balancing the weight in your hand, we don't necessarily want the bar traveling across here where most people are inclined to grip it. Here seems natural because it's where we can get all the fingers wrapped around, but the problem is you don't get much stability being in this part of the hand. So what I typically advise lifters to do is imagine that we're trying to keep the bar more prominently weighted around the outside of the palm. What this does is gets that pressure lined up with the wrist, makes it a lot easier to keep the wrist in line with the elbow, and helps facilitate that squeezing of the pinky. These things put together are going to greatly improve your balance with the bar, your stability, and the overall tension held throughout the shoulders during the movement. So hopefully these are a couple of interesting cues and tips that you can integrate into your bench training and see some immediate improvement with. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you later.